Hi guys, I'm Michael.
I'm Lindsay. Welcome to Bourbon with the Brantons.
So we did the Buffalo Trace mash bills in some previous videos, and I told you we'd dive into Blanton's later on down the road. Hello, we're
The
down the
time
road.
has come.
So, all right, let's talk about Blanton's for just a minute. Quick refresher. Blanton's, a lot of people chase it. A lot of people say it's terrible. Most people are pretty indifferent about it. I think it's good. I think it's a pretty dependable daily drinker. Lindsay knows that when the guys come over, like, this is one we go for.
I hear John Wick made it really popular because he was drinking it in a very unique bottle, and everybody wants the bottle that John Wick had.
So thanks, Keanu. I appreciate that. But in all seriousness, it's very good. It's single barrel, so every barrel's a little different. So if you had a bad experience, I'd say give it another go at some other location, or give it some time for them to get rid of that bottle and then come and get another bottle. This is one that I've had really amazing bottles. This one is probably the best bottle I've ever had. I was lucky enough to buy multiple of this exact Rick, the exact dump date, and everything. And I did that because I tried it, and then I traded other people for this exact one because everyone really enjoys this one. It's got a lot of caramel. This one's got a lot of that like winter spice on it. It's very good. And when I say winter spice, I'm not talking like winter green. I'm talking about like nutmeg and pumpkin pie and that type of flavor profile to it. Brown sugar on this one. It's really good. I enjoy this one. Obviously, I've been hitting it hard, and I think I have one bottle of this left, and it's going to be. I'm going to wait to open that one. I'm going to open some others first, and we'll save that one for a rainy day, because I know how good this one is. It's old dependable. We've went this one, and then open up another one of it, and then another one of it, and now I'm like, I got one left. So. Blanton's is fun. It has the little toppers on it. If you haven't seen those little toppers, so this is what they look like. They got a little little letter right there next to the horse's foot. It spells out Blanton's if you get them all. Oh, Lindsay's gonna get it to show you. So you send it into Buffalo Trace. Once you get them all. And they mount them for you. It's dusty. Ignore the dust, but it's pretty cool. You know, they put a little Buffalo Trace placard on it
Because the horse is running the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, and wins at the
and
end.
wins at the end.
Yeah, you know, it's tchotchke, but it's fun. Yeah, you know, this is what makes people go nuts over it. A lot of times because they're like Pokemon. You got to get them all because you got to get all the letters, which is terrible because they've come out with Blanton's candles now. And my wife feels like since I have all these, she gets all of these.
If you have a wife who's even dabbling with bourbon, or she tolerates your bourbon, usually women start with nosing bourbon and they smell it and they get used to the smells. This is a perfect gift. Now, I do want to warn you, this candle is as much as that bottle. Unfortunately, they're about $60. You can only get them from the distillery. But the cool thing is, they have their own letters. And they have a little gift inside. Sorry, I've been burning this one for a while. But they have these little gifts all the way in the bottom. Once you get down to the bottom, they have little guys. And these little guys also have their own little letter here. And they do not match. It completely depends on what they picked up and put in the bottom of this candle. So now, I only have 3 right now. But eventually, I'll have the whole set too.
Same price as the bourbon that it's modeled to kind of mimic.
But it does
for
smell
a
delicious.
Candle.
Even if like you're having a bourbon night and you light this before everybody gets over here, and your entire house will smell like a Rick house.
Yeah, we do light them on bourbon nights, and people all enjoy the smell of it, and then we put them out when we start to get to the nosing part. But
it's good.
It's tchotchke, and the fact that whatever masochist came up with this not matching, you better hope I don't find you. Like, this is the dumbest thing because I'm gonna have to buy a whole bunch of these $60 candles to get random little guys, because I guarantee she's gonna want these too. But
Yep.
You know what? She lets me have the bourbon collection. Sorry, not collection. In my house, it's a selection. because everything gets open. But she lets me get all the bourbon. So if she wants a little $60 candle, you know what? That's a small price to pay. All right, regular Blanton's, nothing wrong with it. 93 proof, pretty good.
I will say, as far as the ladies are concerned, lots of ladies are 50-50 on this one, on whether or not they like it. So if your wife is fairly new to bourbon, you can have her try it. But I do find that it's mixed reactions. Some women really get a lot of the toffees and a lot of the fruit flavor. Other women just get the spice. So don't be disappointed if your wife picks this up and she doesn't like it.
We're 5 minutes into the video and we've only talked about one of the bottles of Blanton, so we need to get moving. So we're going to move on.
And we talked about the candles.
Oh, okay. So Blanton's Black. I think you guys see John Wick drink this in one of the movies. I'd have to rewatch them to tell you which one, but Japanese only release. Okay. Why is there a Japanese only release? A lot of people ask me this. Well, it's because Blanton's is actually not owned by Buffalo Trace. It's made by Buffalo Trace. When they came out with Blanton's, I think it was in '84. When they came out with Blanton's, it was a premium bourbon single barrel, the first of its kind. They didn't do bourbon single barrels from what the lore says. I'd have to look it up, but they say they didn't do single barrels before, and they started with this, all right?
Now, Albert Blanton was the master distiller of Buffalo Trace.
But not at this time.
No.
This was, I think, Elmer. I think this was Elmer T. Lee that did this. But regardless, they came out with bourbon, a premium bourbon, at a time people weren't buying bourbon. So, in order to keep the distillery open, they had to get creative on how to make money. And one of the ways they did it was they sold off some of their brands. One of the brands they sold was Blanton's. So it's actually owned by a Japanese company. Ancient Distilling, I think, is the name of it. But I'd have to double check that.
But it is bourbon, and it is produced in Kentucky.
Yep, but because it's Japanese, there are a couple Japanese-only releases. This is one of them. 80 proof. Some of you have seen the green label. This is the green label, but rumor has it this is aged 2 years longer. And it tastes like it's aged 2 years longer, which is why it's black versus green. Because you can get the green one in Japan too, but it's different. And why is it different? The rumor is that this one's aged for 8 years, whereas regular Blanton's is aged for about 6 years. So 80 proof, easier to drink for a lot of the ladies.
Yeah.
If you're trying to introduce them, but it's also a much harder bottle to find. So good luck with that. All right. MSRP on this is about the same as regular Blanton's, about $60. I think you can get a little cheaper if you find the right places in Japan. You used to be able to order this on Amazon in Japan. You can't anymore. But anyway, try it. It's okay. It's like watered down Blanton's with a little bit more oak.
Or find a friend who has an open bottle for you to try.
There you go. All right. So, talking about Japanese only. Aha. You're like, that's regular Blanton's. No, that's regular Blanton's. You see the color difference? It's huge, right? This is what we call Blanton's Red, okay? Blanton's Red, Takara Red is what it's called. This is also Takara, right? Japanese only. If you look, Japanese on the label there, okay? Little Japanese symbols right there, or characters right there, okay? Age 2 years longer, 93 proof, exactly the same proof as this one. Japan only. Worth trying. It's pretty good. I actually prefer this to regular Blanton's. It's got a little bit more depth of flavor, probably from the extra couple extra years. So worth checking out.
But same toppers.
Same toppers.
So you don't chase any red toppers or black toppers. They're all the same.
Now we're talking about what I call the gold standard. Blanton's Gold. All right. So Blanton's Gold also has a Japanese only release. I'm just going to say it out there right now. It's called Takara Gold. It's aged 2 years longer. It's phenomenal. I've tried it. It's good. But Blanton's Gold in general, okay, I like way better than regular Blanton's. So,
I would agree to that wholeheartedly.
Even and she doesn't like high proof. This isn't super high proof. Actually, I'd consider this a very medium proof. It comes in at 103. All Blanton's Gold is 103. Why 103? I have no idea. Don't ask me. All right. 100, 103. Okay. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. All Blanton's Gold is at 103. I'm sure they have a reason for it. They didn't tell me. So
that's probably what it measures.
Yeah. All right. So Blanton's Gold, 103. This is the Blantons to chase. If you're going to look for any Blantons, in my humble opinion, this is the one. Okay. Regular Blantons is delicious. If you're not into high proofs, if you usually cruise around the 80-ish proof, okay. Yeah, go for regular Blantons or Blanton's Black. If you can deal with 100 proof, you get so much more flavor out of this. Mm-hmm. The mouthfeel is so much better on this.
I think the finish on this one is a lot better. Mm-hmm. It makes me want to go in for a second drink, whereas regular Blanton's just has a little bit of a harsher finish.
Yeah, I would agree. It's a little, I use the term spicy. It's a little spicier on regular Blanton's, and I don't know why. Because this one theoretically should be, because it's less water. But water changes a lot of things. When you start adding water to whiskey, it people say it opens up the flavor profile. It changes the flavor profile. I don't know if opening up is the right term, but it changes it. All right. I tend to not add water or ice to my bourbon. I drink it neat because I want to try it how the distiller put it in the bottle. All right. If I need to add water or something, then I need to start looking at the price and asking myself, is it worth the price if I have to change it? If I add an ice cube, it's a cocktail. So anyway, it's a running joke in the house. But Blanton's Gold, the one to go after. This one's a brand new one. I just killed the other one last night, as a matter of fact. Yep. And gold toppers this time.
Now, I have heard there's a Blanton Silver, right?
There is a Blanton Silver. It hasn't been made in, 20 years. So it's 98 proof, I believe. So you have 93, 98, and 103. Listen, I've had Blanton Silver. Tried it at a bar. There's a couple bars that I've been to that have vintage pours, and I tried it, and it's okay. There's a reason they don't make it anymore. It's not that different than regular or gold. It's like the happy medium, but gold is so much better. I might as well stick with gold. And then the final one is your Blanton Straight from the Barrel. Barrel proof. Remember, these are all single barrel, right? So the proof is going to change. This particular one is 128.2. I've been working on this one a while. It's very delicious. Brought this one back over from Poland. Oh, and that's the other thing, is a lot of these you'll see are 700 mils because they come from overseas. They are releasing all of these in 750s now here in the States. They have for a year or two now. I'd have to look it up. But I think it's like a year and a half or 2 years they've been doing it in the States. So you can find 750s.
Still haven't seen them on the shelves. Personally, I have not seen any.
So I have one of each in the other room, or maybe a couple of the gold in the other room. I don't know. But you're not going to see them on the shelf. It's like regular blends, only harder to find, right? Most people find this overseas somewhere or buy it on secondary that bought it overseas. I'm not a secondary market guy. I don't propose you do that. But if you're going to do it, okay, you're probably going to get a 700 mil. I'm just telling you. This one is delicious. They vary so much that I can't say it's my favorite, but it's good. Okay, and a regular topper again. So we went from gold to straight from the barrel, which is really cool because it's all handwritten. I don't know if you can see that. The others, the gold is too. The gold is handwritten, but these others are printed. And they have some handwritten areas.
Spots,
yeah, this one's like a handwritten label, which is pretty neat. So definitely worth checking out. Get a bottle if you like high proof stuff. If you don't already have one, but better yet, find somebody that has it and try it first to see if it's kind of a flavor profile you like. They have multiple special edition Blantons out there. Okay, I've had some. Some of them are great. Some of them are trash. Not trash. They're just not worth the price. It's your flavor profile. So if you're looking for a place that has them, I know there's lots in Kentucky that have the special.
If you're ever in Louisville, we highly recommend going to Watch Hill Proper for dinner. Mm-hmm. And they have a giant book of different whiskeys that you can try. It's one of the largest collections in the entire United States. But they do have some of the limited release Polish edition, the French edition, Blantons. Mm-hmm. So it's a great place to try a pour if you've ever been curious about those and don't have a friend who's been overseas.
You're going to pay for them, but you'll pay a lot less there than you would on the secondary market for a bottle.
Very true.
And you'll find out if it's worth it. Quite honestly, some of them don't taste that different than a regular single barrel proof Blantons. I'm just being honest. Some of them are phenomenal. We had a honey barrel here. It was phenomenal. It died quick because it was so good. But would I ever buy another one? Not at the secondary price, even though it was probably one of the better bottles I've ever had. It's delicious. I enjoyed it, shared it with friends, moved on. And that's how I recommend you do it too. So if you guys have any questions or comments about Blanton's, you wanna trash talk me, that's fine. I don't really care. But at the end of the day, find what you like. There's a lot of variety in these bottles we just showed you.
Very true.
When I bring this out and let people try them, they can't believe it's the same recipe. Like, that should tell you there's a huge variety in single barrels. They try to keep it somewhat characteristic flavor profile, but it changes depending on where it ages in the rickhouse, when they dump it.
And your profile. It depends on what you had for dinner. It depends on a bunch of different things for you personally.
Anyway, enjoy your pours. Cheers.